10, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, the feature. And it's a small field, but strong field. When you look at the race, the plot, the race contention is a snowflake and speed rating is 40. The number 4, Preservationist, just seems to have the edge in terms of pace. But this race is all about, trip and tactics. These horses tend to stay together. And, generally I kind of look for, especially 10 furlongs horses that can finish. This race, small field, lots of things can happen. Sometimes they're really peculiar results. But just on surface, when you look at the horses and look at the speed figures and everything, the number 1, Tacitus, the number 2, Code of Honor, number 4, Preservationist seem like the horses in this race. So I'm going to just focus on them and figure out what I want to do. It's interesting to see the morning line here on Code of Honor is the favorite. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I would assume Preservationist might be, but if that's the case, I think that's a good thing for us. But let's just go into the grid and focus in and look a little bit more closely at those 3 horses. So I'm going to start with Tacitus. You could see, just starting backwards forward, this horse was running well. I mean, even the Wood Memorial, when he won, he had trouble. Then he had trouble in the Derby. He was against the bias and wide in the Belmont. Bad tactics after slow break in the Jim Dandy. Then against the bias in the Travers. This really horse, you could say he finds trouble, but I don't think he's that kind of horse. I think, first of all, truly he is a 10 furlong horse. He wants 10 furlongs. I think he's the only 3-year-old that really wants it in this group. He's even with all those troubles, you can see he's kind of inching up in terms of a figure. I think he's sitting on a big race. I think he is ready for one. I think he's going to hopefully he gets a trouble-free trip here in a field of 5. If he can't, my goodness. So I think this horse is a very strong contender and one I would be using. And I like him basically over Code of Honor. I'm going to talk a little bit about Code of Honor here. Code of Honor, you can see he's had some good trips, tactics in both the Derby and the Dwyer, and then he's with the bias in the Travers. So you see some red there. I don't really think he's a 10 furlong horse, though he can win at 10 furlongs given the circumstances. He's the kind of horse I think needs a bigger field where he can get flow, because some of his Florida races with smaller fields, he couldn't really work out the trip. And I think this small field, I'm not sure if things are going to break the right way for him. I just thought the Travers broke the right way for him, and he was able to close. I don't want to take anything away from him, but again, if he's the favorite, I'm trying to beat him in this race. But even as the second choice, I'm probably going to focus in on the 1 and the 4, just because Preservationist has the best plot, has the pace edge, is the now horse. Tacitus, obviously, I went through his litany of unlucky trips. Code of Honor, again, I don't think he's really, truly a 10 furlong horse. I think he's better in larger fields where he can get more flow. So that's the Jockey Club Gold Cup and how I might be playing.